Stain's motivations actually start to feel kind of justified.
I'm sorry, I'll have to stop you on that one. For those of you who don't know, I uploaded a video about 4 months ago talking about Stain from My Hero Academia, and how I thought he wasn't a very good villain. I got some mixed reception, as expected, but upon rewatching, I think the video wasn't necessarily bad, but really misses the point. As MathWiz mentions, all I did was point out the fact that he was a flawed person, which doesn't prove or even suggest that he's a flawed villain. My video just pointed out how Stain's ideology was flawed, which doesn't really mean anything. He's a villain after all, he's supposed to be a flawed person. I do agree with this sentiment, but only to an extent. It is true that villains are often ideologically flawed, so Stain being ideologically flawed isn't inherently the problem. In fact, a lot of my favorite villains of anime are very ideologically flawed. Chrollo and the whole Phantom Troop from Hunter x Hunter, Makishima from Psycho Pass, Light Yagami from Death Note, and even Pain from Naruto Shippuden. My problem with Stain is how the show and the community paint him out as if his actions are in some way morally justifiable, which, if you haven't seen my other video, they clearly aren't. He kills heroes for saving people's lives. There's just no way getting around how stupid that ideology actually is. Okay, yeah, Ida does fight him out of revenge and not out of a heroic attitude, but I mean, like, you're a mass murderer, so okay. He's still trying to kill a mass murderer. I don't know about you guys, but that sounds pretty heroic to me. Yes, he didn't have heroic intentions, but his actions were still pretty heroic if you ask me. His ideology and intentions are further flawed when you realize the fact that him killing heroes makes himself look like a villain, which doesn't really help his cause. I know Stain isn't technically a villain. He does go against Shigaraki and he thinks his morals are flawed, just like what he thinks about the other heroes, but the general population is still gonna see you as a villain. There's a lot of ways Stain could have accomplished his same goal, which the show doesn't even recognize. He could have become a journalist, judge, or teacher instead of going around killing people, because somehow killing people teaches the whole world what it means to be a true hero. Yes, Dr. Apolli, killing people is very heroic. We should all strive to be just like Stain. What makes this even more funny is that Stain is actually really bad at weeding out the good heroes from the bad ones. He severely injured Ida's brother for God knows what reasons. And Genium, you horrible hero. Look at you trying to support your family. What a monster. Let me kill heroes. That'll show you what it really means to be a hero. On top of this, the show somehow expects us to take his ideology seriously. After the fight, Ida begins to rethink his actions and what it really means to be a hero. This implies that the show wants us to think that Stain's ideology is at least somewhat right, whereas I think Stain's ideology makes almost no sense. And all these YouTubers in the community that are defending his ideology are just wrong. Again, this doesn't inherently make him a bad villain, but the fact that I find his ideology laughable and completely unrelatable totally stops me from taking him seriously. He seems like a villain who's just there to be evil for the sake of being evil, like Bowser from Mario or Team Rocket from Pokemon. So this begs the question, how would I fix him? Now, Stain could have actually been a good villain if we maybe got some backstory to his character and learned his intentions for why he's doing what he's doing. Because doing this helps us understand where he's coming from and maybe relate to his ideology on a more personal level. I think he actually had quite a bit of potential, but the execution on Horikoshi's part is quite poor. Stain's character arc in general just felt really underdeveloped. It was also quick and they made it seem like it was some world-changing event. I haven't read the manga, so he may come back as an important figure, but from what I'm hearing and seeing from manga readers, it doesn't seem likely. As for what we could have seen from his backstory, he could have been abused by a villain, and then say a hero saves him from that villain that was abusing him. He then looks up to that hero. Days pass by and he's again caught in another villain situation. That same hero comes back and instead of saving him, He runs away scared. Or better yet, the hero doesn't save him because he concludes that it wouldn't be worth saving his life because the villain he's being attacked by wouldn't grant a high enough reward. Moments later, All Might comes and saves him. That would drive him to go on and kill all the greedy heroes and respect people like All Might. A backstory like that would have made him a stronger villain in my opinion. This story tells us why he hates greedy villains so much and why he looks up to people like All Might. It also explains his radical nature, why he doesn't choose to fix society peacefully. I know there's a backstory in a spin-off manga, but I don't want to go over that for anime onlys. Also, I'm an anime only, so I obviously didn't read it. I don't think I'm interested enough in the story to go and read the manga. I still like the show, believe it or not. It's a solid 7.5, 8 out of 10 anime in my opinion. Not as good as the first season, but it was still pretty solid. Hopefully in the manga they did something to help explain where his ideology originated from, and I hope we get it animated soon. Lastly, I can't be the only person who was confused as hell about this scene. Like, what is going on? Oh my gosh, I can feel his presence. If this is explained later on, then I'll gladly take back this point I'm making. But for right now, it just felt like kind of a funny scene, to be honest with you. There's no Nen, chakra, or spiritual pressure in My Hero Academia, at least not yet, so I'm curious as to what this really is. Thank you guys for watching, I hope you enjoyed. If you haven't disliked the video and left yet, consider supporting me on Patreon. Patreons get early access to my videos, the script for my videos, and can influence my videos to a certain... I made a video on it, just watch that. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.